Hi, I'm Raeya from Active Health Clinic, and my life has revolved around fatigue for the past 10 years. So at the age of 14, I was diagnosed with glandular fever. I thought it was a common cold, so I kept going with quite a high level of netball and quite a high level of functioning at school and just really pushing through. At that point, I probably got my body to breaking point, or what I labelled as rock bottom, to the point where I was housebound and severely debilitated by chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, this is back in 2009, so it took me 8 doctors before I was taken seriously. It took me 12 months before someone uttered the word chronic fatigue, and I actually got diagnosed by someone who technically didn't see me because they weren't able to diagnose chronic fatigue syndrome. So it was a really big roller coaster and one that was quite uncomfortable at the time. Back then there was a little bit of help, but not a lot, not that there is today, which is saying something because I know that there's not a whole lot today. It's getting better. So I had chronic fatigue syndrome for 5 years, and they were probably the worst 5 years of my life, but they did teach me a lot. So my story is a happy one now. I don't believe that I experience chronic fatigue anymore. I do have orthostatic intolerance, which is a blood pressure disorder due to hypermobility and due to genetics. So I do still deal with orthostatic intolerance, but I don't have the post-exertional malaise or setbacks that I used to experience with chronic fatigue syndrome. So at my worst, I was unable to go to school. I was predominantly housebound, didn't have a lot of friends or social connections, unfortunately, and was just sort of bumping around in the dark trying to figure out where I was going. Wasn't until I met other people that had recovered or got better from CFS that I then realised that my life didn't need to be the way that it was, that I didn't need to experience CFS the way that I was. So I began to slowly piece all of the puzzle pieces together, which took a very long time. As I know most of you watching this, you're probably still fumbling through it, and that's okay. From getting better, obviously that's a really long journey and everyone's journey is completely different. I then went on to wanting to be a really loud voice in this area to tell people that better days are coming. So it became really important to me to teach people that there is another side to the fatigue, that you don't have to be bedbound for the rest of your life when you're lying there feeling like your body just can't get up. So I made myself a couple promises. One was that I would help as many people as I possibly could experiencing CFS with their health and really help them through those dark days. And I promised myself that I'd make up for lost time. So that lost time meant that I have now travelled to over 25 different countries since recovering from CFS. I work full-time, I study full-time. I went on to doing initially my personal training, then my yoga. I then went on to getting into university, even though I didn't finish high school. I then finished at one of the top of my grade in uni and then got into my master's. I'm currently completing my master's and soon will have finished that to be an allied health professional and exercise physiologist, which has been my goal since I heard about Nathan Butler 6 years ago. So it's been a really long journey, and my life has revolved around fatigue, and not in the way it used to, in a really amazing way, that my voice is really loud now, that I get to tell people that good days are coming or that less crappy days are coming, and that's really important to me. So I work with people with chronic fatigue syndrome, I work with people with orthostatic intolerance, work with people with chronic pain and sleep disorders, because these are the people that need help, these are the people that need to be listened to and supported, and these are the people who just need a little bit of guidance, but also that they need to be taught to listen to themselves and to be guided by what they know or what they're experiencing, and that's really difficult to do and to trust, and that's something that obviously I'm a little bit passionate about. So I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years, and I will forever continue and keep going until these invisible illnesses are made visible.